Yeah, I'm very grateful that I haven't had the stress of, oh, I'm not feeling well, but I have to show up at work.
Yeah.
And obviously being a physio, it's not that you're just behind a computer. It doesn't matter if you're not feeling good. Like,
You got
need
clients.
to bring energy. You've got those clients. You know, you need to show up for them. Half the time in physio, it's a therapy session in itself, kind of thing. Like, I just couldn't have fathom. So I'm also just extremely grateful that was like the one thing in the first trimester. I was like, I'm so grateful that I haven't had to worry about that.
Yeah.
What up, everyone? Welcome to the Conquer podcast. And today we are going to be addressing the elephant in the room. And that elephant in the room is moi. I was looking over our YouTube, like, obviously all of these are recorded. So if you're not looking at them on YouTube, you can watch them on YouTube and listen to them. And I was watching myself and I'm like, tan and skinny, and then each episode I'm like growing bigger and bigger and bigger. So
And she's not bulking.
I'm not bulking. However, obviously if you follow me on Instagram, Chris and I are expecting our first child.
Yay.
So that's thank you.
I'll clap to
Thank you.
that. Exciting.
And I'm going to be an uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have an addition to the A team, this little one. So
this is just a little
this
quick,
is just like a quick
pod.
update of, like, you know, why is she getting fat? This is why.
So how long has the little bugger been in there for?
So we're 5 months next week. If you're
Wow, it's already 5 months.
It's going so
5
fast.
months.
That's crazy.
So end of the year we're due, and like exciting time. So
And I tell you what, like, because I see you most days, but like it's like slow, then bam! It's just like
should
now
I
it's like
stand up
today
and
it's
see?
huge.
If you're watching on YouTube, like, look at his belly. Just his belly sticking out. Like, woo.
it's getting on. Nice little rub,
It's like all really firm
little
as well.
happiness. But yeah, so like the dynamic has changed a little bit in the business, and with but not too much. So I guess we'll chat a little bit about how you're feeling as a pregnant lady working with two men.
Well, I don't think the dynamic has changed as much, because I've obviously, I'm a
Not at
female
all, actually.
working with males, but I think that definitely my priorities have changed, and maybe how I view business in my life and the role that it takes. Like, for example, so obviously now I'm in my second trimester. During my first trimester, in terms of symptoms wise, I don't think it was too bad, but being here in Bali, like, a few things that I really struggled with was the heat. I was always overheating. I didn't want to be in the sun. Obviously was feeling very nauseous as well and tired. And during that time I was like, I don't know how women go to work.
Yeah, energy
like,
levels
I
were
was
much
just
lower than
thinking
normal.
about, if I was a physiotherapist and had to see patients every 20 minutes, I would be leaving that room munching on like little biscuits and like having to be like having a breath. Am I going to throw up? Like, that's probably my actual number one thing. And obviously as a society, we're like, oh, you're not allowed to tell anyone. It's a secret before 12 weeks. So that's probably my like number one thing of like that like women have to suffer in silence.
Yeah, it's true, because you don't tell anyone. You're not meant to tell anyone. Well, that's what society says.
When do you find out the gender?
Next week.
We find out next week. So we didn't do it via the blood test.
We
We're
could have
doing it
found out
via ultrasound. So we'll find next week.
Yeah.
What do you intuitively feel?
We both have.
Can you-
No,
you
see,
go and then
I've been in. I from the get go thought it was going to be a boy, and I say this not because that's what I want. I actually always wanted girls. Like,
Yeah, you always wanted
I always
twin
wanted.
girls.
I always wanted twin girls or two girls. That was
So
my,
random.
I don't know why I wanted that, but in my mind. But as soon as we found out, I was like, I think it's a boy, and I've said it so many times now that Bronze is almost like she's the opposite to me.
Now I'm just going against. I was just
Because-
like, no, I don't want to. If it's
What do you
a girl, I don't
intuitively feel?
wanna-
Girl or
I'm
boy?
like-
Just if I just say to you, tell me right now gender, go.
Well, now I'm
Just say it.
leaning towards girl now.
You're saying girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're very excited because we can obviously find out
I,
next
with
week.
absolutely no knowledge here whatsoever, think it's a boy.
Yeah, well, that's 2-1. It's going to be a boy. So either way, like, excited for a boy or a girl, but I have a funny feeling. I have a funny feeling inside me, which is funny because you're the one who has it inside you, but I still think it's going to be a boy. So the first boy of many.
Many. Brilliant.
So are you guys, so the plan is, right, you're moving back to Australia pretty soon. You've decided to not do the birth here in Bali, right?
Yeah, so I guess we always said we'd move back to Australia when we had our first kid, and there's probably many reasons for that. One, I think the main one is like having a bit of stability, having a home to like, it's new for us. Having a kid's new for us. Veronica being pregnant, it's new for her. So I guess having like some sort of stability, which Australia does, because we know Australia, we know like what it's like living there, and I guess finding that home and being settled in a peace where we're moving into a very peaceful area, North New South Wales. Like
I'm excited
30
to
minutes
visit.
from Byron, just across the border from the Gold Coast.
It's in New South Wales, right?
Yeah, New South. We never lived in the area before, but I've driven through there, and we know roughly what the area is like, and it's very peaceful and calming, and it has good energy. So we decided, and
Are there
this
like
is a
good
privilege.
cafes and gyms and stuff?
We actually found we found a
were,
good gym.
Yeah, those were the things
Important.
that we Googled.
But I guess, yeah, I say this all the time. We're very like not privileged. We've worked towards this privilege, but we're actually able to find and choose a location where we wanted to have our first child because of the work and the businesses we own that allows us to move around rather than being stuck in the house that we've been for 10, 15 years, where people like, they might get pregnant, they don't have anywhere else to go but where they are living. We've actually chose a place that we think is going to be a good environment to have our first child, and I think that's a really beautiful thing to do.
And I think people have stopped saying to us, "Oh, wait until you guys settle down."
Yeah.
They used to say that.
We're like, we've literally got it's a rental property. We've got a 12-month lease, and already for next year, I'm like, I'd really like to go to Europe.
We have, yeah.
So I mean, easier said than done. Like, I've never had a child before, but I feel like our whole relationship, we've been traveling around, and I don't think that this is.
And Bali has its perks, and one thing, it's a bit chaotic here, and that's one of the perks. But chaotic for me, while having a child, which is very new, I think we'll just remove some of the chaos.
Yeah.
Like some fresh air. Like, the pollution here is rotten.
Yeah,
I have to say.
And once
Some
you get
fresh air
sick,
would be nice.
you kind of, it's hard to, like, I'm a little bit sick right now, so.
That does make you feel like, let's go back home for a bit.
Yeah.
So that's where we're
going.
going. Like, that's exciting. We're going back to Australia. We'll be in Australia for at least the next 10 to 12 months. Well, this happens. But all right, but let's move back to you. Let's throw some more questions back to you. How have you felt with the work and business? And obviously how obviously you said you feel different already and you have different perspective. How have your perspectives been changing, and how's it mixed in with us and working together and stuff?
My first thing is that, I'm very grateful that I haven't had the stress of, I'm not feeling well, but I have to show up at work.
Yeah.
And obviously being a physio, it's not that you're just behind a computer. It doesn't matter if you're not feeling good. Like, you need to bring energy. You've got those clients. You need to show up for them. Half the time in physio, it's a therapy session in itself, kind of thing. Like, I just couldn't have fathom. So I'm also just extremely grateful. That was like the one thing in the first trimester. I was like, I'm so grateful that I haven't had to worry about that.
Yeah.
And then now, like, it's again, like, I'm not really thinking about maternity leave or if I leave, are they going to replace me, or having any of these thoughts that I know some women have. That
you have the luxury of like working when you feel like you need to work as well, because like you're not set to having to go and just do that 9 to 5 time. Like, if you're feeling a bit unwell in the mornings, you can take that morning off and then catch up on stuff you need to do later in the afternoon.
Yeah, like, it's just very flexible, and I feel very calm about it. Like, I'm not worried. And because I'm not worried, I don't know if that's what people think about, but I'm just assuming, like, if I'm putting myself as being a physio, that there would be a little bit of, stress and anxiety in terms of women in the workplace. And, you build, like, with physio, you build a clientele. It's commission based. If you're not there, you're not making the money. And if you're not there for 6 months or however long maternity leave is, you're like, well, shoot, when I come back, I have to start again.
Yeah.
Whereas I've been, because of Amazon FBA and what we do in business, I haven't had to worry about that or think about that at all. Instead, we're like, finding a place. Like, we didn't even, when we found our rental down the coast, is a good physio clinic where I can work? Can I get a job there? Like, that doesn't even cross our radars. But we literally found a place that it was like, this is super cute. We back onto a lake. It's 600 meters from the beach.
We work from home, so we want a nice area to
it's
fresh air.
Nice lawn. I'm actually very excited to visit.
So that's where we'll have Christmas this year. So it's like, it's those kind of like, I'm more so like in this nesting phase. And even though I still work every day, the work is done when I can get it done or when I need it to.
And props to you, because you still, like, you've actually been working. Weirdly enough, I swear you've been working better since before the pregnancy. I don't know if it's like it's almost like stabled you out. I swear you were more like up and down before the pregnancy. Now you're actually more consistent.
Have
you noticed that?
It's 100% a thing.
Yeah, because of my cycle.
The hormones aren't going up and
like,
down.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, your cycle, like 28-day cycle, goes up and down. And I would be like, every 10 days, I was like, well, fuck, I've missed my 5 days of being productive.
Yeah.
And now I'm gone in the dumps and I'm
Is that gone? So you're just...
Other than
Whereas
the first
now-
trimester where like you generally were more tired because
But
that was like,
that's
that
not
was only like a
emotional.
3 or 4
I'm
week
talking about
period.
emotional because
Yeah.
Eric's talking about
The actual,
because
like,
my
roller
emotions
coaster.
Your emotions
dictate-
were much more up and down before.
Yeah, which is surprising that emotions, like in terms of my hormones, in terms of how I feel, in terms of physical symptoms like feeling nauseous or like even vomiting or being tired, that's more obviously inconsistent. But emotionally, I feel much more stable being pregnant, which is really interesting. And I feel like just generally speaking, like even when I was like on the pill and things like that, I worked better because I wasn't having all these fluctuations and emotions, which
It's
is pain
interesting
in
to
the
see you now as well because obviously the first trimester, and obviously it's all very new to us, like people go through different symptoms and whatnot, and yours were obviously, they did affect you. But I think one thing was that they were like emotionally affecting you as well because you weren't exercising as much, you were staying inside, you weren't getting out, you were like kind of confined to your room because of the heat. And as soon as you got past that first trimester, like I've seen in recent times, you're now training again in the gym.
Yeah, you're
and
chilling.
You're feeling like you're so active.
You
and
have
you're-
more
and
energy.
better.
You've
You're
more energy
emotional,
now.
like you're like a way you see yourself, I think is more positive as well because that first trimester you were literally just locked in a bedroom for a few
my
weeks.
calorie intake went through the roof. I was just like croissants on croissants and like grilled cheese.
And you even
No
talk-
exercise.
Yeah, and it's like and at that
terrible.
stage as well, like you have only just started getting a little bump, so you're like feeling a little bit bad about your body and stuff like that. But now like I've noticed you're in a real positive state and you're really like feeling yourself and you're enjoying the belly bump now and you're getting into your exercise and still we go out for dinners now. You couldn't go out for dinner, so I think that
eating
first
was no fun.
those 4 weeks during that first trimester were a bit of a period where it's like, oh, is this going to be like this for the next 6 months? And then once you got through that, you're a completely different person and very energized.
Yeah, you've got more energy now.
I feel, it's been, I almost feel like I'm trying to soak it up. I'm like waiting for it to like turn to shit again. Like, I don't know. I guess like we'll see what third trimester comes, but I feel like,
And we definitely haven't got off the foot off the pedal. If anything, we're just doing just as much as normal.
But in terms of like work, I do feel like I work well with deadlines, and I like having a deadline, and that's how we talked about all the times that you don't like deadlines. I really like deadlines, and this is like almost like an ultimate deadline.
We
like
can't push this one back.
I need to get shit like organized and done because there will be a period of time where I will be offline, and my priority will shift.
Is that your plan when the child is born? You're just gonna not work for a little while and just mother the thing, or
You have to.
Who else is gonna do it?
There's a period where they just have. They just,
I
guess
feel
so.
like again,
I'm actually like I have no idea.
No,
like
well, I
what
guess
happens.
I'm assuming priorities will shift. Like if I've got a baby that's hungry and crying, and I get a WhatsApp message, that WhatsApp message is gonna be quite low on my list of like things that I want to.
There will be a period
address.
where you'll just have to take time off, and you'll just be literally only.
How
looking
long
after
is
yourself.
it like until the kid? It's probably like a year, right?
Nah.
Because like 6 months, it's still a
Not that
tiny
long.
little thing that can even walk. When does it walk?
Well, they normally give you through like they normally
Around,
give you
like,
like
10
4 or
months or
5
a
months like maternity leave.
Yeah.
So like for 4 or 5 months, it's just a little thing that can't walk, can't do anything. It just wants milk.
It's
Just
a
a little
potato.
spot, yeah.
That's crazy.
That is heavily reliant on its mum.
So I have to put my maternity leave.
Are you gonna be
HR.
slipping some creatine into that milk, Chris?
100%. I've been slipping creatine into a
Eddie,
shake
I
every
cannot
time.
wait to make you a latte with my breast milk and thank you. That is
That's
like
the
my
most
number
disgusting
one
thing I've
my
ever
number
heard.
one
Why?
thing that
I
I
told
can
you.
look forward
I
to.
told you I'm not sharing that breast milk.
Have you guys seen the meme? It's just like breast milk demand through the roof. Actually,
Yeah, for bodybuilding.
for bodybuilders because of the
eating-
growth hormone
eating
content.
up. Yeah.
I said it to Chris first, and he's just like, I think that I wanted to prank you like this because Chris doesn't have milk in his coffee, so that would be like,
I also
why'd
don't
you
have
put
I also don't
milk
have
in my
brothers or
coffee?
sisters, so
But I was like, I'll do it to Eric. He's like, that's a bit harsh. I was like, what do you mean? This is the
It's
so everyone
disgusting.
keep posting.
I had your back on that one.
Yeah, no, I'm not keen to have breast milk. Thank you.
Well, we've got a new coffee machine. You have to have the coffee at your own risk then when you're at our house.
But have you had much, I guess, back on your question wise? Have you Have you thought about what the future might look like once
I
you've
feel
popped
like
one
I've
out?
got so much still to get done to this deadline that I
That you haven't
haven't
had
really,
time.
I
Like
haven't
what? Like
thought
work
about,
stuff or
yeah,
like-
you know, we're expanding our team, more people are getting involved, and I want to make sure that when I do have that time to step back, that, you know, everything is organized,
Yeah.
and, you know, we've got now an extended A team, if you like, and I want everything to be like, you know, I don't think there'll ever be a time where like, oh, it's, you know, you completely switch off. Like, even if I'm not particularly doing things, you know,
Yeah,
you know, I'm
you're
with you,
you're
like, with
always
you,
active.
yeah,
You're always
like-
going to want to work.
yeah,
too.
you're always like, and I'm going to hear what's happening regardless, but it's more so that I won't be the one doing the tasks.
Yeah.
Now I've
and
got
I
a
will-
very important question.
I'll go on.
What sports your child's going to play? So let's say if it's a girl or a guy or a boy, a male or a female, are you going to differ the sports? Or is it
I
the same
feel
sports?
like the beginning they're all going to do the same, because I feel like in the beginning they need to like know where their body is in space. So obviously and obviously they need to learn how to swim, because that's just so like swimming, but then like gymnastics, those kind of sports
Gymnastics, you reckon?
where you like when you're little, like what are they called when you go to
little gymnastics? I don't know.
yeah, but it's just learning how to move your body. You know, when you see an adult and they don't know where they're like, I don't know, where their kneecap to their ankle is, like they just have no idea, like their spatial awareness is non-existent.
Okay, so that's like but when it gets to like sport, like
Okay,
competitive
sport.
sport, so I don't know, what's that, like 5 years old, I think? You can put them into like a sport club?
I think it's more like all of these kind of like where it's more gender neutral, because a girl and a boy, they're the same.
Yeah.
But then it gets to like between 10 and 12 where
No,
then,
like at 5 years old, you can put a child into like a sports club.
well, they're going to snowboard.
Definitely snowboarding.
You live in Australia, what do you mean?
That
Yeah,
we'll
well,
be
that-
going
we
on
already
All right, so
talked
that's
about
for the like a month of the winter season. You're saying that's them. What's
Well,
like the main sport? So for me, growing up, for example, I was forced to swim. I hated it.
Yeah, but that's
And then-
a survival.
And then actually, I didn't get put into any sports clubs until I was older. Then I just signed up for a footy club. I played AFL, then I played soccer. But like for me, for example, if I got a boy, he's going to go play soccer and he's going to do boxing from a young age. And if it's a girl, whatever she wants, she can choose.
Well,
But
I
the
feel
boy
like
can't
that
choose.
because I'm personally not a team player. I will say like the sports that I enjoy are all very individual.
I think team
I
sports
like
is so
swimming.
important
I like
though.
CrossFit.
Yeah,
I
so
like the
important.
things that you do by yourself.
Tennis.
So
You played tennis from a young
the-
age.
I feel like that's going to be my next season, tennis.
I would love like our kids to play AFL, but I also think that we travel so much, and I don't think we'd ever stop traveling. That it's limited to what they can do if they played an international sport. And I'm not a big soccer fan here, but I'm just saying if they did, they can play that all over the
It
world.
depends if they embrace the Australian side or the
Yeah.
European Polish
Yeah.
side.
You know what I mean? Like they can play that anywhere they go. If
I
we're
think
traveling
Uncle
a lot-
Eric might have a bit of influence here, a bit of sway.
But I think if we're in Australia, like they're definitely playing AFL. They don't have a choice. They're playing AFL.
I started playing AFL, but then and I loved it, and then
Yeah.
I broke my jaw
Yeah.
smothering the footy. And I loved AFL like that. I was obsessed with the sport. And then the 2006 World Cup was on. Then I just fell in love, and all of a sudden my European ancestors all from above started chanting, and I just fell in love with soccer. Like fell in love with the sport to
Yeah.
this day. It's my biggest passion probably.
I think it's definitely like wherever we are, whatever like country or whatever, they'll be doing some sort of sport. I think they'll probably play a lot of different types of sport because we'll be traveling a fair bit.
Are you going to sign them up for like some sort of self-defense, martial art? What about for like a female as
that.
well?
That's smart.
I like that. I even was thinking about like I like the idea of kickboxing. I think again, like I like the idea of them being confident and comfortable with their body, generally speaking. And then if they're good at that, they can go into any sport. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what country you're in. They
I
can be
agree.
the-
Kickboxing,
yeah.
I think, is fantastic because you use your hands, you use your head movement, like and your
Heaps of-
legs and
heaps of
everything. Fitness, like that transfers into any sport. If it's footy or soccer or then you want to become a specialist in boxing. I love boxing.
Yeah.
Because it's just one move, like hands. But yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea.
I think they should learn some sort of martial
Or karate.
defense or some sort of fighting or something.
Yeah.
I didn't do that as a kid. Like I only started learning boxing last year, and I don't do it that often. But it's been really enjoyable to learn.
Yeah.
Just to even understand your own body and how you're moving around. I think it's super crucial.
Yeah, they're definitely doing something all the time.
They'll be
but
active.
I think,
Active.
but like I'm actually surprised. Like I don't have a specific sport. Like for either of them to be like, oh, they must do this.
Yeah.
They will be active. Period.
I mean,
What sport
you,
that is
you want
like,
them
I'm
to also
happy.
naturally be like, look, I love
Yeah.
this sport. This is the one I want to do.
Definitely.
And
Yeah,
just got to
exactly
lean
right.
into that. I guess for us, we were lucky because we didn't get put into sport early, but we would go out camping a lot. We'd go out
We were
fishing.
active. We were always
We would be
out
at the
and about.
beach. We would be
We did go skiing and snowboarding.
skiing,
at a young
snowboarding.
age.
Like so lucky that we did all of that
Yeah.
stuff, which was generally just like so much like fun activities.
Yeah.
They're going to be good at everything.
Exactly. Obviously, just like those, like James Bond, good at everything type vibe. I like that.
On that note, let's wrap it up. That was a quick one.
That was
Just
a
a
good
little
one.
short one. And that's it. Done for today.
A short one, but a very important one.
Very important
A very
one.
important life update.
It
you
is
know,
one
you're
of the
about to be a
biggest
father.
biggest
Yeah.
life day.
You're going to be a
up
mother.
date.
I'm going to be a friggin' uncle. Let's
Very
go. And
short.
I got to get some kids out soon then, because I don't want the age difference to be too big. We're 3 years apart.
Yeah.
I think that 3 years is maybe 5 years. Chris and I think 5 years. I
Yeah,
think
we're
5
fine.
years is maximum.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you need to-
Maximum.
you
Well,
lock
you
in
need
that
to
life
find a
zone.
one.
Because 10 and 15, like that's like a big like.
You're
That's
different
already
phases of life.
Yeah, but then 15 and 20, it's still like 15's a little shit. 20's now a bit of an
Yeah.
adult. 20 and 25, but then 25 and 30, almost the same. At
Yeah,
that
yeah.
point, you've caught
Well, now
up.
you admit it.
Let's do it.
Now you admit
Look,
it.
I'm 30 this month, so
Well, there's a. the
I'm
next
30
big-
in 12 days.
Well, happy birthday in 12 days because everyone on the podcast.
We have to finish because of the red light in our podcast studio. But for final words, obviously we're having a child. This is going to be our biggest thing yet. Eric, you're entering Dirty 30, and what I think the
I think the
30
best
is
decade.
best decade. What's
sure,
your like
agreed.
to finish it up? What's your thoughts, feels going into 30?
I genuinely think that 30s is like the best years
Yeah.
of life. I think that like 20s is all about collecting experiences, doing stuff, fucking up a lot. And then by the time you're 30, you should be extremely competent. You should have like a plan moving forward. And I'm very happy with how I've utilized my 20s.
Yeah.
I've traveled the entire world. I've been a complete degenerate, fucked up, gotten in a lot of trouble, been arrested, done a lot of dumb stuff, learned a lot of lessons the hard way. Then I started businesses, had success. I moved states. I moved countries. You know, I've done a lot in my 20s. I've made a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of friends. I've done all sorts of different businesses as well. And now like getting into 30, I'm the by far the best I've ever felt in terms of competence, confidence, and also just clear vision.
Yeah.
And also identity. By the time you're 30, you know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what you're good at, and you know what you're capable of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as a man, like I always was like, and now I'm going on the thing, but like just quickly, like I was always inspired watching movies like Troy, and Brad Pitt's character in Troy as Achilles, he's 38 years old. Like it's like for a man, you don't peak until your late 30s even. I still got heaps of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
You know? And then like Daniel Craig and James Bond, we were just talking about 38 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
Cheers to that. I like that. And I'm sorry, I actually didn't ask you questions, so I've got one more question for you as well. What's your biggest, I don't know, what's like the number one thing that you're thinking about going into fatherhood? Maybe most excited about?
Most excited about?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one. You know, I can't wait to see like just the little one like crawl around the house and stuff. And it's just gonna be like another best friend. Like,
I think there's so much that you'd like, it's almost like,
I'm not even slightly nervous.
This is gonna be the best
I'm
dad.
not even slightly nervous. I'm just excited to like do so many activities and like have another person to hang out with.
you're going to be the best dad. I have this picture. You're going to be like in the garage, like creating a cabinet or something. And
Yeah,
the
like
little
so many-
bugger's going to be there with a
so many
screwdriver. You're like,
activities,
pass
so
it
many
here.
things we can do. Like, yeah, I'm just
You'll be like chopping wood in the
I
lawn.
can't wait to have just a little mini version of me running around.
If it's I'm now completely assuming this is a male.
Well,
It's a
we
boy.
have named it, and we
Or-
won't say it on here, but we do call it a male name. I will give
Yeah.
it
Or
that.
like, you know, if it's your little princess, she can be there also just like, yeah,
You
get
know
it,
what,
dad.
they'll help
Exactly
out.
that. All right, we're going to finish up because
Let's
that's
get out of
that's
here.
it. So
Thanks,
I'm
guys.
going to say cheers to the next chapter of life.
Cheers to the next
This is
chapter.
Cheers
very
to that.
excited. Cheers and
Out.
peace out. Bye.